This money is going, means spread in various sectors without creating any output. Now, this money is going in terms of loans to the corporations. Some amount goes as a contribution to the corporations like.
But are we spending correctly? Because from the day one, this government has come up with a manifesto which seems on a populistic side rather than it's being practical or with a prudence.
The point is, this government has no priorities fixed of development.
Yeah.
They talk of inclusive development. Inclusive development is not achieved by giving doles. They are giving social, for social.
That won't help any of this investment, microeconomy, because that's not generating any economic activity. Those don't generate economic activity.
32% of budget goes to social services.
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah. 32% goes to the economic services.
Dattabab, if you look at this, this is the situation amongst 10 states. The 7 states are the northeastern states where we have Naxalism, terrorism. Goa is such a state where we have every natural resource. The beaches, the wildlife, the Khazan lands, 2 highways, 2 railways, no Naxalism, communal harmony, no terrorism, ports, 2 ports, the airport, the literacy, everything we have, and we are at 9, 10, 8. As an economist, how do you look at this spending of the government?
That's I think the precise points. We have all the right ingredients. In the morning we were discussing, we have all the right things in place. Unfortunately, it's the management of these right things, which finally score the goal, number one. Number two is, Suresh, just to take a minute off and try and answer the question of where does the money go? And why can't we see the money at the end, and why do we have to land up in a mess again and again? You see, the problem really is one of creation of asset. If your money which you are spending is creating an asset, a bridge or a road or a lake or a tourism infrastructure, it's fine, it's well spent, you have a deficit, that's okay. But if your money goes for subsidies, free laptops, to girls, I would rather say don't give the money to the girls, promote a girls' school. Promote a girls' school, equip. You won't imagine the facilities which a government school has, the laboratory.
Tablet scheme they withdraw, they realize it's going
so
waste.
Why give subsidy? Because I used to be a visiting faculty in one of the colleges.
But yesterday, last year they have given to.
No, I think that was the last
year
one.
again,
laptops they are still giving,
but
tablets
this year again they have said we will continue with this.
Because it's an election year.
Absolutely. I asked a boy that where's your laptop? Why don't you bring your laptop to the class? And he says, sir, all our laptops have conked off in 3 months. The issue is why we can't see the money is the money goes down the drain because of votes, number one. Number two is 40% is salaries. 40% is salaries.
This is
45.
This is the precise calculation where we see
Absolutely.
700 crores. Government is earning around 700 crores a month. 220 crores on salary wage pension gratuity, another 85 crores, 105 crores on payments and debts, then power purchase around 90 crores, and just 140 crores left for development and maintenance.
Absolutely.
Out of it, if you remove 60 to 70 crores for a development maintenance, which is compulsory,
Absolutely.
you are left with just 70 crores for development.
Absolutely.
And as per the plan, government should spend at least 260 crores a month to complete its span.
True.
So it's not completing even at 20% of the plan.
Because the plan itself is revenue plan is 3,000 crores, capital plan is 3,000 crores. So we should be seeing 6,000 crores of improvement in 1 year. That's straight.
Ralph, how do you look at it? Finally, you have to bear the burden of all this.
Yeah,
you have to speak.
We do. See, first, this all comes back to the economic survey. We do not know where we stand. Economic survey tells you where we stand. vis-a-vis last year and a year before that. That we do not know what we have achieved and what we have not achieved. Now, this year's budget is anybody's guess. It being an election year, it's sort of a situation for the present finance minister. Damn if you do, damn if you don't. Considering the plight we have, the mining has not started yet, and every time there is a start, there are two stops to it. So that is again anybody's guess. So taking all these things into consideration and the heavy burden we have, especially in the salaries as we've mentioned, and we are still recruiting people in the government services.
It's 59,000 crores.
It doesn't make any sense. There are some corporations that are again in the hands of the government, which should be, I very strongly feel that they should be run by professionals.
Every government almost recruits 5,000 people in its tenure, employees. It's 59,000 now. Now, in last 5 years, it has jumped, 20 years, it has jumped from 45,000 to 59,000. Government is a bigger employee than the industry.
Absolutely.
Industry is at 51,000 employment.
See,
government is at 59,000.
With 60,000 people working in the government.
And seventh pay is yet to come.
That's what I was coming to.
Is yet to come.
That's what I was coming to. Next, we are going to step into a huge hole. That is the seventh pay commission. From where are we going to have money?
It's 24% bill. If they go by the government of India's criteria, it will be 24% of the 220.
Yeah.
Actuals, I am telling you, regarding salaries, pension, wages and grants. In the year 12-13, it was 2,700. Now on 13-14 has gone to 3,100. So what 1,000 crores have gone up.
The irony, JC Bab,
This is only in 13-14.
Yeah.
Now 14-15 you have to see, and 15-16.
Absolutely. The irony, JC Bab, is if you see the government working, and it's good. In my view, it's good. A lot of erstwhile manual activity has gone to computers and by softwares. They're being run by the system, and it's good. Challan filling, processing of the huge amount of manual clerical work which the government used to handle is now actually done by the system. Now, if that is so, why do we not see the numbers coming down? The numbers should come down. I once suggested to a big wig in the government that, look, you all tell us that you have put this, you have done this, you have done that, e-governance, e-commerce, everything. That's fine. That's why, in fact, we support that from the industry. But why don't we see the reflection in the numbers in the state?
I will give you one comparative figure. Delhi, there are more than 2 crore people, but government employees are 96,000. We have only 15 lakh people and we have 60,000.
Absolutely, very well said.
It's 1 for 26.
Absolutely.
The proportion is 1 every for 26 gone. It's
by Delhi's measure, we should have hardly some
30 to 35.
I'll just give
6
you
times higher.
Rajendra Babu, I'll just give you one little example where the government itself has received a stricture from the union government, and that is the power department. Now, where in all India, they have 24 people per substation, we in Goa have 76.
Yeah.
And if you add the direct and indirect, they have 70, we have 150.
And now look at the situation in manufacturing sector. After all, this manufacturing sector has to back these schemes. Look at the situation. JC Bab, from 1980s, post Goa attained the statehood, industrial growth has fallen from 175% to 6%. 6% is almost stagnation. 175% maybe because
no
there was
major
development deficit pre-Portuguese. That's why it was very high. Otherwise, it's a stagnation.
Stagnation.
It's a stagnation.
You can create all investment boards, and you see, which does not. It is a substitution to old committee which we had. First under the chief secretary, then it was shifted to chief minister. And now it has been made as a law.
गोंया वर्साक 34,000 लोक तयार जातात म्हणजे ज्या एम्प्लॉयमेंट तातूंतली 4,000 आर अनस्किल्ड 1-2,000 प्रोफेशनल्स असतात तांकां गव्हर्मेंटा कडल्यान नोकरी नाकात पूण 18,000 BSc BCom बी आनी एक 10,000 ITI बी ट्रेड्समन हांकां 28,000 नोकरी जाय पडटा.
You see, in the first standard, about 2 lakhs students enrolled. Now, how many reach to SSC examination and pass? 15,000. Now, all this gap from 2 lakhs to 15,000, and then from 15,000 for 12 become 10,000.
Ralph, let me come to this also now. For example, now the IPB is clearing one after the another proposals. They have cleared almost 62 proposals. They are rushing it up actually in the election year. How do you feel about these 80% jobs for the Goans? Is it possible? Because the trend of demographics or the migration says, we have seen it in China and even the developed countries, the population migrates from lower inflated areas to higher inflated areas for more earnings. Maybe it is because of the dollar difference or anything. Similarly, the people outside Goa like Bihar, UP, where comparatively per capita incomes are less, they flow to Goa. It's a demography, it's a science of demographics. So, how is it possible that you will pump in 25 to 50,000 crores and 50,000 jobs and you will give 80% jobs to Goans? Because Goans are asking for, their spending is also high and earning is also high.
See, it is the question of what is desirable and what is achievable. We have got out immigration from Goa. Out immigration because of lack of job opportunities here. We see a fall in industrial growth. And that has accelerated this out immigration. And there is another thing, because we are 100% literate, we do not have any manual laborers, any blue collar jobs. Now, these are the two phenomena we have to see. As the result of that, we cannot expect any Goans or very few Goans will come for blue collar jobs.
Yeah.
Okay, that is one. Secondly, what happens in between? The professional, yes, but there is a bulk of people who are technicians in factories and who require technical knowledge and other semi-professional and executives. Now, the supply of this, we have to see whether we have this in Goa.
So, it may not be that 25 out of 25,000, 22,000 Goans will get a job.
What we can do is give the Goans a preference. What happens if that seat is not filled by the Goans? Then we'll have to look out for that seat somewhere else.
Yeah.
What will happen is, if this seat is not, that vacancy is not filled up, your whole production will suffer.
Yeah.
So, what we can achieve, we have to see, and what is desirable is one thing. Now, another thing is what we have to also see is regarding this growth. We have to allow the industries to grow. We have to create an atmosphere where investor friendly atmosphere. Once there are certain laws of the land, once those laws are followed, we should see that these industries are protected. Very often there are people who are holding licenses.
Yeah.
Correct.
There are certain protests and those licenses are kept on hold or put on back burner. This gives the wrong types of signals.
I want Dattabab's reaction on this. Even the central government says that this NGO activism, so-called green activism, is they talk of a conspiracy theory, that it's a conspiracy to derail the growth. Same trend we find it in Goa. Is it a myth or is it a fact? What it is? We find in Goa also now these 62 IPP proposals, when they come on ground actually for constructions, they may face the same fate. So, what's this conspiracy theory? Is that true, or what do you feel as an economist?
Conspiracy is a word which is highly in use over the late, I think 5-6 months or so. Now, the point is different, and what Ralph Bab was saying just now is that we in Goa have a particular socio-cultural backdrop under which we operate. Now, and when we talk of per capita this, per capita that, per capita debt, we forget actually that we are comparing ourselves with a number which is already 5 years old.
Yeah.
Because our numbers are based on 2011, which is already 5 years old.
Base
for example, if one were to take a correct count of people from other states working and adding values in the activities of Goa,